But now on to the other big game this season, the Manchester A team versus the Manchester B team.
Really? Really?
Manchester United go head to head with their big bros, Manchester City. Do you think another upset can happen? Tell it. Octopus, tell it, how do you see it? I'm mean, zoom into his face.
I don't know. Jerry, did you provide any form of edible before we came on set? Because I don't understand what that is. But
So can you guys actually imagine playing a football match in front of 25k fans in an old Premier League ground, all off YouTube clout?
so that's the thing. It just gives you something to aspire to as a young YouTuber.
As a young creative.
Right? Because bro, the Sidemen game was something else.
It was incredible, and I just think the only thing I can think of is if that was me, I'm definitely going to be balling these guys. Right. I'm going to be in the best shape of my life. Like I'm showing up, I'm ready. Like the boots are going to be clean.
Right.
So, if you guys don't know, the Sidemen is a YouTube community of football creatives. So, some of them, they're active on TikTok, on YouTube, they have channels, they have presences all over social media. And the collective of them, they came together to play a charity football match at Charlton Stadium. There were 25k fans in attendance, and they raised over £1 million for charity. 25,000 fans.
Come on, watch Chunks and Speed.
As a Chunks, Speed was doing the
Chunks actually
CV.
scored one.
Chunks is a baller.
Chunks is a baller. I don't know if he was a baller before or just from all these tournaments he's become a
I think
baller.
he just became a baller because I remember one charity game that he played recently where he goofed.
No. Pride will gas you up. You go and hire a trainer, you learn.
He came back and he redeemed himself.
Lost some weight and all that. So you guys like and subscribe, keep messing with us, and you might catch us repping y'all on Sidemen Charity game in 2 years' time.
Manifest.
Now let's get into the serious professional athletes who do this for a living. In our hit or miss segment, we are looking at what we're just coming out of the Nations League, and I want to pose a question to both of you. What do you guys feel about the Nations League? Is it relevant? Is it a waste of time? I don't know.
So first thing I would say is the Nations League and the scheduling this time around has been poor. It's I don't see why we have this Nations League so close to the World Cup. Maybe it is the World Cup itself and the scheduling of the World Cup that's wrong. But it is just bad. Now Tottenham Hotspur will play no less than 16 games between the players that have played for their countries at the current Nations League that just ended this last. They will play 16 games in the Premier League. Then they will now go and start the World Cup on the 18th of November. So tell me how that makes sense. I feel like it is backed by greed.
Yeah.
Like, why are you playing such an important tournament and you're playing the Premier League and then you're going back to play the World Cup and the scheduling is just all over the place? So from a fan's perspective, I'll say it's a miss. It's uncalled for.
How do you see it?
I agree with you in the scheduling for this season, but I do like the idea of the Nations League as a whole. I think if we have to go back and remember, around all these international breaks, they were just playing rubbish friendlies and pointless friendlies that nobody really cared about. And now, I suppose, even though the Nations League, we still don't really care about it, especially compared to the Euros or Copa America. But it's still, I guess, it gives smaller nations an opportunity to compete. Like now in this Final Four, Croatia are there again. They lost the World Cup, but if they can win this Nations League, at least they can show that this generation have won something, which I think is good. And if we're going to have the international breaks, then I'd rather the games matter than watching a random, I don't know, England, like I don't care about that. Right. So, I mean, I think the international breaks are too long. I think international football, if it's not a competition, is super boring. But if it's going to be there and it's probably going to stay, then I feel like the Nations League is a pretty good way of incorporating it into the football lexicon.
I agree. I definitely think money is part of the motivation because we know UEFA were trying to bring out the Super League or the crisis they were in. The Champions League is not making out money, so they need a reason for fans to want to watch the Nations League, for the TV rights, for the stadiums to actually fill out during the Nations League. So I guess it depends on how you want to look at it, if it's a hit or miss. But I think we can all agree that at this point in the season, it's a bad idea
Yeah.
right now.
Definitely.
Yes.
Everybody should agree on that.
And I think fans can.
Yeah, so definitely let us know your thoughts on Nations League. You can also let us know who you think is going to win the Nations League. So I think we've got Netherlands, Croatia, Spain, and Italy in the final four. Let us know in the comment section who you think is taking on the Nations League. This is the second one or third?
Yeah,
Third.
So
Because
I think
Portugal, France.
and someone else now. So yeah, that's the Nations League. That's our hit and miss section. Now we're moving on to another sport, and this is boxing. Our boy Anthony Joshua is in the news once again. Hasn't been going good for Joshua. His boxing career hasn't been what we would have hoped, but he's potentially has another chance as a big fight, a big career-defining fight against Fury. What do you think about?
So the whole Fury and AJ, should I say, debacle or whatever it is at the moment, it's just a joke. And I'm making bold to say that I feel this is. I mean, don't take this as actual this, but I think Fury is back on coke because yes. Because tell me why today you come with a deadline, tomorrow you say deadline has passed, next tomorrow you come with another deadline and say, before I finish this video, he must sign a contract. Bro, it's a freaking contract. Like 20 people have to sit with it, discuss what this means, what does this imply, what does what are we inferring from this, and make proper arrangements for what a contract is, but you're giving somebody 1 day to sign a contract. But that's on one end. But AJ himself, Papa, you really have zero leverage at this point. You have nothing to offer at this point. You have no belts, you have nothing. All you have is, let's say, maybe the support of people, and then you can bring crowds into the stadium. But besides that, you have nothing to. So just sign the freaking contract and fight if you really want to fight. That's it. That's it for me, bro.
How do you see it, Abek?
Well, I think this is classic, typical boxing, and this is a fight that is like 3 years too late. Like, nobody cares about this. 3 years ago, we are on this. This is the fight everybody wants to see. And it reminds me of Floyd Pacquiao, when they finally fought, when they were both washed. And so this is just another blatant money grab. I will still take it, Sha. Like, I'll take it. I think that it's an easy way for AJ, if AJ can somehow win, even though I really doubt it.
Nah, he's not gonna do it.
Yeah, I do.
And like you said, it's a money grab, but we're paying KSI and Jake for how much we box. Like, I don't care about whether AJ is on heavyweight title trajectory. I just want to see AJ and Fury fight to say so. Yeah, I think they should have the fight, but the circus around it, I just have to believe that Fury, he's doing all this separate from the negotiations. So whether or not the negotiations are taking place, he's not even having negotiations. His job is just to hype it and make it like, we're about to fight. And then you guys sort it out. He probably doesn't even know the status of the contract or what point AJ is racking about. He just say call out and fight like it's a gypsy fight in the streets. Right. But to be exciting to see, I guess other names are being thrown into the conversation, that maybe Chisora will fight him, maybe White will fight, blah, blah, blah. But no one wants to see that. We all want to see AJ Fury.
That's what we want to see.
Right, so now we're going to spin the block back to football, main P, and it's a big weekend. You know how the football gods like to bless us with the exciting fixtures after the international break. That's something that it makes me really happy. Like right after such a boring past 2 weeks, where even Nigeria said refused to give me joy. 1-0, drew 2-2. Everything was just one kind somehow. But so we're back to our main stuff, and we're going to start off in Serie A. In Serie A, there's a big game coming up, Inter versus Roma, the Jose Mourinho derby. 1 point separate both of them in 6th and 7th in the table right now, and both of them have similar goals, Champions League football. They probably have wanted to maybe even win the title this season. How do you guys see this fixture? What do you think?
So, I reckon, I don't know if I'm just going to give my prediction straight away. Yeah. But I think it's probably going to be 0-0 because we know the Jose Mourinho playbook. When he's playing a big game, big team, at home he's going for the win, away he's going for a sturdy draw. So I'm going for a 0-0, but I think Serie A is going to be very interesting today because they're 6th and 7th, but they're 4 and 5 points behind the leaders. I think AC Milan are in one position ahead of them with 1 point. So everybody ahead of them is like Udinese, Napoli, Juve are behind them. So it's going to be a very, very interesting couple of days in Serie A.
Definitely a pivotal game.
Yeah, extremely pivotal game. Yeah. I know Lukaku, so who knows?
I think for me it's all about Jose Mourinho, who I think is suspended from this game. Because remember in the last game before the international break, he had a red card. He was sent off. And there's that. But something interesting that actually piqued my interest was something that I saw, yesterday, Goran Pandev of that Inter Milan squad is the last, that's the last player from that squad to hang his boots. So every player from that Inter Milan squad have hung their boots, and Goran Pandev is the last one. He did that. I think he announced his retirement from football yesterday. And that is the only Italian side to have won the treble ever. So that's big. Pedigree.
Mouthed.
You know, and everything.
Shout out Panda for an illustrious career.
Yep.
Wow.
Legend in the game. One of those players that doesn't get spoken about often, but when you remember him,
if you know, you know.
Yeah, he mashed up work.
Right.
So now into the big games this weekend. This is what we've been waiting for. Arsenal. We're going to start, so before we get to what you guys want to talk about, let's start off with the London Derby. Arsenal versus Tottenham Hotspur. Arsenal sit top of the table. Tottenham are third, but only a point separated the two sides. It's a big London Derby. Which way do you call it? Tell it.
So I feel like for the sake of just peace, for peace to reign, Tottenham have to get points in that game. Arsenal cannot win that match.
Hey God.
No, Arsenal cannot.
Jerry is vexing for you
No,
guys.
Jerry should para.
Man is vexed.
He should para. But he should not forget that I also told him before the Manchester United and Liverpool game, the day before, I called Jerry outside and I said, Jerry, go and bet on Manchester United winning this game. This was a game where, no, you can come on camera and tell me if I'm lying. This was a game where nobody expected Manchester United to win. This was a game that everybody expected Liverpool to
So
win.
basically, your predictions are money at the moment.
I'm telling you, Octopus Tele. But I think, I'm not going to say an out-and-out win.
So Tottenham or draw?
Tottenham win or draw, exactly.
Alright, so I actually am super interested in this match because I think this is probably the best these two teams have both been while they've played. So this is going to be extremely high pressured, and I feel like it's going to tell me a lot about Arsenal. Tottenham I'm not really worried about so much because there's less pressure on them and I know Conte can do it. But with Arsenal, Arteta is still a bit of an unknown. Essentially almost the whole squad is an unknown. So if they can go and win this game against Tottenham, a game that historically I would say Arsenal would struggle in, these high pressure games, then I would get really worried. Right now, I do think it's going to be a draw. I think it'll be a 2-2 high scoring draw.
Yeah,
I think that's probably what's going to happen. But if I had to pick a winner, I'm not going to lie, I'm leaning towards Arsenal.
Fair enough. Yeah, I agree with you guys. This is a big game. Jerry is blushing behind the camera. But yeah, this is a big game. Like you guys said, this is the test for Tottenham, for Arsenal. Like they've already failed in the United States. If they drop these points, then I have no reason to believe they'll beat Chelsea when they play Chelsea, Liverpool, City, and if they can't get results against those sides, then the top four might even be long. So talk less of staying top of the table. But now on to the other big game this season: the Manchester A team versus the Manchester B team.
Really? Really?
Manchester United go head to head with their big bros, Manchester City. Do you think another upset can happen? Tell it. Octopus, tell it, how do you see it? I'm zooming into his face.
I don't know. Jerry, did you provide any form of edible before we came on set? Because I don't understand what that is. But to be very honest with you, Manchester United, Manchester City, Man U will be going over to Etihad, and the support for Manchester United, I don't think will fill that stadium. Manchester City have grown in support over the years, and that will definitely play a part. And Manchester United do have very damning injury worries.
Who's out?
Marcus Rashford, who actually won the Player of the Month for September, even though September was cut short to just 2 games. But he did seem to be having a very good month. Scored 2 goals, had 2 assists in those 2 games, and both goals and both assists were at pivotal moments during the game. And he seemed to be somebody who's already coming into that frame. So Rashford will be a very big miss for Manchester United if he does not play. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I'm not saying.
Call Liz, Baba. Who's winning?
No. I'm not saying. I'm not going to say it.
Tell him shy. He doesn't want to put his head out on the. Alright, Kingsley.
I mean, it's scary times. City are frightening right now. Haaland is a frightening proposition. Like, the prospect of a 6'5" Haaland against 5'7" Lisandro Martinez is kind of keeping me up at night.
But don't forget, they faced off. Borussia Dortmund and Ajax faced off, and Lisandro Martinez allegedly pocketed Haaland.
This isn't the Haaland of. This is a new
Man
Haaland.
City, not
This is Man
Dortmund.
City. This is Pep. This is KDB. Like this is not. This is not the same. Like they're very different situations. So I'm a bit worried. I think the talent difference is quite overwhelming. The coaching differences, I won't say it's overwhelming, but I'll give the favor to City, and I'd probably go for a City win, 3-1. I don't think that's anything bad on United. We're not at the level of Manchester City right now, and I think any United fan will tell you that. Like, it's not embarrassing. It's just they're one of the best teams in Europe.
I feel like at this point I need to step in and really back Manchester United, because
Thank you for drawing him out.
Fact is, Manchester United's defense has grown leaps and bounds since the first 2 games of the season, right? That's a partnership that everybody is proud of. As a Manchester United fan. Varane is fit. Martinez is fit. In fact, Varane did not play the second game for France in the Nations League because he had to be rested for this game. I'm sure Eric Ten Hag put in a direct request to Laurent Blanc telling him, bro, do not play Varane. I don't want any injuries for this guy. So that is something to look out for. Tyrone Malacia seems to know what he's doing. Diogo Dalot bagged 2 goals for Portugal in the Nations League. He's going to be high on confidence. So Manchester United's defense is, I think, what will,
So you think you can win potentially? A win is on cards?
Man City's defense is
Okay, so say
it's always shaky. It's always shaky. It is shaky.
I mean, anything can happen. It's football. United have already beat Liverpool where everyone thought they wouldn't this season, so it can happen. I would like to see City lose, obviously. We don't want to see them running away with the title, so if City lost is best case scenario for me. So yeah, I'm with you guys.
Yeah, let me even just say it now. Yeah. Manchester City versus Manchester United on Sunday, the 2nd of October 2022. Manchester United will get 3 points.
Amen, Sha.
Let's go.
Manifest.
Clip that.
Manifest.
Clip that.
I'll take it.
I need that clip doing rounds tonight. Not after, tonight. Okay, so those are the big games coming up. And remember, you can bet on all these games on BetWinner, but we'll give you a word from them at the end. So the weekend's coming, football's coming, real life football, fantasy football's coming up. And with these games that we just mentioned, there's some key decisions you should make. And I'm thinking a lot of the premium captain picks are playing in those matches, except one, Mo Salah. So I'm having a dilemma now. Do I stick with Haaland in this Manchester derby? It's a big game, it's a derby, anything can happen. Or go with Mo Salah, who for the first time in like 4 years is a differential captain pick. That's what's keeping me up at night. How do you guys, what's going on?
For me, I feel like Salah is getting his confidence back as well. That's a player who did well during the international break. He scored. And he's very likely to kick on from there. So if you have Haaland, by all means, captain him. But if you do not have Haaland, do not fret. There's other opportunities to have goals and to get good points with your captain. Ivan Toney has a good fixture. Salah as well has a good fixture.
Very good fixture.
So if you don't have Haaland, if you have Kane as well, I think against Arsenal.
Yeah, it's a big game, but Kane is historically good in this game.
In this kind of game. So if you have Kane, if you have Salah, if you have Toney, you might want to captain those ones if you don't have Haaland. You don't need to rush into the market or lose points to bring Haaland in.
Yeah, I think Salah would probably be my captain choice. I think 200,000 plus people have shifted him out, so he might not even only be a captain differential. He might just be a differential period. 8 out of his last 10 meetings with Brighton, he's got some returns, and this is Brighton that are blooding in a new manager. Like they're dealing with Graham Potter leaving. We know Brighton play quite an offensive style of football. They don't sit back, and even if this new manager has a different philosophy, it's not something that you're going to implement in a week and a half after X amount of years of Graham Potter. Exactly. So I expect to see Salah back. I expect to see Liverpool win, and yeah, I think I'm not doing FPL this year because I had an awful year last year and it was quite depressing. But if I was, I think Salah would be my captain choice.
I remember, like I told you guys, Thiago is back. I've been lamenting about Thiago being back and my midfield being safe. He's played one game with one after a few more games in his legs. Liverpool, I won't say too much.
Unlocking Liverpool with you.
I prefer not to speak. Okay, so that's an episode. But before we leave, we want to give you a brief word from our sponsors. All these games we've mentioned, you can bet on them on BetWinner. If you're not sure which way you want to go, BetWinner have curated accumulators for you. You can start off with them and then tinker around. They give you instant cash outs. They give you birthday specials. What else they give you? Anything
they give you Thursday bonuses.
Thursday
and
bonuses.
They give you Friday bonuses as well. So if you bet today,
you're late for the weekend. So yeah, but before we go, make sure to hit up our comment section and comment on who you think is going to win the big games coming this weekend, the Serie A games, the Premier League games, perhaps the games we didn't mention, and you stand a chance to win a prize courtesy of Accelerate X Bet Winner. Thanks for rocking with us again. Safe.
Peace.